Coach, congratulations. Talk about the physicality today, the pace of the game. This is the kind of the style you wanted. Is this sort of a warm-up for a potential finals matchup against the Cairns?
We're just taking one day at a time and trying to win the day. Just a great credit to our guys, the grit and grind and defend the island model of what we do, and to bounce back after a tough one, and to come in this type of building with that type of team, to walk out of here with the win is obviously really good for all of us. I think the other thing is this was kind of very similar to our second game in Tasmania, where we made a few more plays than them, and tonight in Tasmania they made a few more plays. It was just a grinder and a tough battle, and they got a hell of a team, and 40's done a hell of a job over there. He's coach of the year in my eyes, and when you win on the road, I've said it a million times, you just stay humble and move on and be happy that you got out of the building.
You've got Sydney and Perth in your next two games before you finish off at Illawarra at the end of the season. How does this game set up for those last three?
I don't worry about them, to be very honest with you. We're going to take some time off the next day or two and regroup and recover. And if you know anything about our group or anything, we just worry about our next practice and trying to win that day and just go about our business that way. And I don't look too far down the ladder of anything that's happening ahead of us. I've always said that we'll be where we're supposed to be when this is all over with. And the league is real. The competition is real, and it's a grind. And every game, you're just playing against high-level players and really good coaching. And it's exciting to be in this in our second year, to be in this kind of a position to actually be fighting for something when some teams are probably going to be thinking about going home. It's just a great credit to our group that they continue to battle and fight.
Cool. We'll go to Jared on Zoom.
Hey Scott, congrats on the win, mate. You kept them scoreless in the last 5 minutes. You scored the last 11 points of the game. How happy were you with how you guys finished the game out?
Yeah, I mean, again, when you're in those tight games, and they made their runs and we had our runs, and it got back to obviously a little bit of a back and forth battle there. And I've said all along, and our motto is our defense travels, and if you bring it with you everywhere you go, you at least have a chance in these type of games to have a chance to win. You're just not going to go in buildings and outscore people. We're not built that way. Some teams are. We're built to play defense and try to keep the ball in front of us the best we can. And for the most part, we did a nice job against a very high potent team.
You said after the last game you felt like you were outworked. Did you feel you were sort of back to yourselves in that regard, or how did you view that aspect of the game? Yeah, I thought our workload was consistent across the board, and it's one of the things is, we've been battling just the inconsistency of quarters. And I thought for the most part we were consistent throughout this entire game of just our workload and our effort, and it started right from the jump. And just really proud of these guys and these guys fight. And again, we're trying to make 600,000 people in Tasmania proud of this group, and when they put an effort like this together, the state should rally around that, which I know they do, and we should have a great environment when we get to Sydney. Hey Jet, what was the mentality of the group coming into this game? Obviously only 4 games left, every game sort of a must-win type of thing, and you obviously had a bad loss the other night. What was the focus and the mentality coming in tonight?
Yeah, obviously we wanted to get the Southeast game out of our mouth. That was not a reflection of who we are, and it was a long couple days of guys reflecting and kind of reevaluating and thinking about what we really want to accomplish this year. And as Scott said, I think our workload was back to where it needs to be. Like, guys were getting after it, guys were asking for subs, and that's what we talk about, playing at a level and playing at a pace that you have to ask for a sub. And our workload and our physicality was where it needed to be tonight, and that was a finals level physicality and a finals level game, and it was fun to be a part of.
It must be nice having Jack McBay as a teammate when big shots are required.
Yeah, he's great. He hit some big ones tonight. But guys stepped up all across the board. Kenny was massive. Magnay, it seemed like, made every play at the rim the last 3 or 4 minutes. Got offensive rebounds down on the other end. Obviously, Milton hit that dagger there with a minute or so left. So it was a bunch of guys stepping up, and that's the strength of our team, and it's something we'll rely on down the stretch.
Scott, you've been a huge advocate of Kenny and his story. A career high 15 points tonight, but I'm sure that's not all you look at with him. How happy are you with him and I guess his story, and he's sort of rewarded tonight with that performance? Yeah,
obviously we've been saying for the last 2 or 3 weeks when Sam and Matt came back that we were going to have to do some juggling to get those guys back in some type of rhythm play. They're hugely important to our group and their size. to at least try to stay in front of a McCall and some of these bigger guards that we'll be running across. We need them out there, and you know, Kenny with his energy was fantastic tonight, and just his effort to go defend, and you know, people feed off that passion that he has, and I thought he was just outstanding.
It's quite a sloppy first half. Both sides had 13 turnovers, had 5 in the second half. Were you happy with sort of how you took care of the ball in the second half?
Well, it was sloppy for us in general because we're not usually that high of a turnover team, but give them credit. They were up in the passing lanes and you know, knocking at balls and knocking us off our spots and being quite aggressive. And again, it's a great lesson for us as we move into these games that when the pressure comes, are we going to be able to respond and hold our ground? And for the most part, I thought we did that, but you know, credit them a lot. They were quite aggressive, and they got some guys like Scott and McCall that are just tremendous steal guys that can really put a lot of pressure on you.
Awesome. Thanks, fellas.
Chris, when you're ready.
Just a couple of quick ones. Scott, you talked after the loss to Southeast Melbourne about how important it was to bounce back, but to play, I guess, JackJumpers basketball. That's exactly what you did tonight. And after that game, Clint talked about how your trademark is just wearing down teams and then being able to take advantage in the last few minutes of the game. And that's exactly what happened tonight.
Yeah, I mean, just the consistency for us has just not been there through the course of the season. We've been consistently inconsistent, to be quite honest with you, and it's more just patches that have allowed teams to get away from us. But hey, the league is super tough, and every night if you're just off, you're going to be in for a battle. And for us, the consistency has to be there through the 4 quarters for us to, you know, to play the way we like to play. That's not always the case, but that's our goal, and I think that's what the people of Tasmania rally around, is the grit and grind of how we go about our business. And I think the game got a little muddy, which was good for us in general, and the pace was at a good pace for us too. So just a credit to our guys and just you know, following the game plan and just sticking with it and being relentless.
Every time you seem to have a performance that you might not be that happy with, like you had on Wednesday night, this group just hits back. They just respond so well. I mean, how strong of a character trait is that to have? Yeah,
again, I put this team together with humble and hungry guys that were just high character guys that would have a lot of fight, and they're just a joy to coach, to be honest with you. You know, they obviously have moments when like in Southeast where it wasn't quite on point, but I just know and trust these guys to do their jobs, and it's just the next man up, and it's a very, very tight-knit group that loves each other and works hard for each other, and we'll go through thick and thin with them. And so it's a comfort as a coach to know that you have those kind of characters sitting in the locker room, and no one's bitching and moaning, no one's playing locker room lawyer, no one's talking behind anyone's back. Everyone's doing their job, and everyone's focused on what we're supposed to try to do here as we build this franchise and this brand. Again, we're 18 months into this franchise. Sometimes it feels like we've been here for 30 years, but it's only 18 months, and they're setting a great tone for future JackJumpers.
And Josh, just one for you. How good is it to now have a week in between games, but then how excited are you to get back home and play the Kings next Friday?
Yeah, really excited to build some momentum heading into these final 3 games. Not that our fans need any motivation, but I think, you know, having a little momentum going into this final weekend, you know, just add to the excitement around the state and in the arena next Friday and Sunday. So it should be a lot of fun. I know the boys are looking forward to it, and it should be a blast.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Chris. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.